Bit of a wet patch.
Yeah, from the workout.
Good afternoon, team. Me and Jamie are together for once.
We're actually in person, yeah. It's not the technology will still fail us at some point.
Well, yeah, we ran out of batteries, didn't we? So that's funny about that. But we are in our new kind of facility at Robin Park in Wigan. We share this building now with Wigan Warriors, and we're currently in the Wigan Harriers office. So, welcome. We're talking about the week commencing the 13th of December. So this is probably going to be the last full week that probably most people will get in before the last minute Christmas shopping.
I think this has been planned as like a one more full on week.
Yeah.
And I think the following week we start to kind of see the drop off.
Yeah.
So a few people are going to start to Christmas parties. So middle of the week it might drop off. I think how I've programmed it, the first Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the week after this, still pretty intense, and then after that it gets quite fun. Yeah. We've got some of your workouts kind of coming in that Christmas week, so if you did forget, obviously still time. I know one other gym bunged us a workout from All Fitness, so yeah, still time. If you think of another one, let us know.
Yeah, I think Rodwell is yet to send one in, so
yes,
we'll pull them up. Cool, so going through this week, a big 2-rep max front squat from the floor.
Yes, last time going from the floor before the possibly the main event the following Monday. So you can tell members this week it was a 2RM from the floor, max out your clean near enough, hold on for a front squat. The following week we're from the rack, big music, big beans. Yeah.
I'll be honest, there's not much more to this from what we've said in the previous weeks. It's just, reinforcing like whatever cues you've been drilling to, people individually, just making sure people get a really, really good clean warm up before you get stuck into this. It should be a good, 5-10 minute specific clean warm up, just ironing out everything before you go big.
I think a failure on a 2RM front squat from the floor looks like a 1-rep max clean.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what you should be shooting for. I wouldn't necessarily having a member come away and thinking of failure in that respect. If they've hit a good squat clean, they just don't have the legs to stand up the next one. I would say a good box ticked.
Definitely. And the second rep on the front squat will kind of, like you say, that's the last kind of bit of information before going into the next phase of training. It's like, is the squat strength the issue, or again, is it the actual pull? Of the clean? So a bit of a different workout this week, bit of a different style. To give you a little bit of a background on this workout, Steve actually went out to see Matt Fraser and they hit a tabata before going into a workout, and the idea of it was to kind of make the workout feel like a second kind of interval. So you should be going into the actual workout after quite gassed, not kind of at a point where you can't do anything at all. Kind of an 8 RPE is a rough guide, so it should be a hard effort. You have your 10 seconds rest.
I think a question that may get asked is, well, if you're trying to replicate a second round, why don't you do 2 rounds? Good way to answer that to either your members or your fellow coaches is to talk about the residual fatigue created from the bike is near enough nothing. Doing some hard efforts on the bike, tomorrow you're going to come and you're not really going to feel them. Whereas if you did a second round of this, shoulders, power cleans, all of that burpee box jump, that's going to accumulate far more fatigue. So you can get the same training stimulus without the longer fatigue from this kind of stuff. Like personally, I've done a couple of these workouts, and it is really important to go the right pace on the bike. There'll be a couple of normally guys trying to send the bike, because obviously we've got 2 scores, just keep them in check, because otherwise they're going to be far too sent, and then those first couple of burpee box jumps will probably be written off. So check people before they wreck themselves.
Yeah, definitely good to put a 2-part to that, because likewise, as well as the big guys, you'll have the smaller people just sandbag the tabata and then go into the second part of the workout a bit too fresh as well. So being very, very clear on the stimulus of the workout is needed there for sure. Final week of our handstand push-up progressions, and then we've got a retest next week.
Yep, that's correct.
again, it's just reinforcing the points from the past couple of weeks, really.
Yeah, I think people are probably getting to the end of either their tether or their physical capacity. Everyone probably feels good at 4 minutes, good at 6, then 8 it starts to get a little bit bitey, and then it's quite a long way from home if you've got good standards and you've got a good number of reps that you've been working with. Just get people to persist with good technique. If it does fall off, it's a common question that we get, is like, what happens if all of a sudden minute 8 you can't do it? Just go for one max set each time, keep the quality, don't keep jumping up and down and accumulating that poor volume where you're doing singles, just trying to churn out reps. Quit while you're ahead. That's your training stimulus for the day. Maybe the shoulders are tired from before.
Yeah, like again, just when Jamie says max set, technical max set. So as soon as that last rep before people are kind of heads out to the side, worming the way up, we want to stop that 1 rep before we get to that point. So good quality reps. And then same going into this, classic CrossFit workout, Nicole. We've obviously put a bit of a spin on it because it's actually pull-ups for the.
That's it, yeah.
But again, it's for us, for the stimulus for this workout, it's accumulating as many good, toes to bar, reps of toes to bar as possible. Obviously from there, depending on people's level of toes to bar, they can obviously decide if they're going to push the run a little bit more or ease off. Would there be any more points you'd be?
No, just to further that on, like with you guys as coaches, the conversation will be, okay, if you've got a top level competitor, it's about accumulating as many rounds of running and big sets of toes to bar. That's kind of the pinnacle at the top. Then we've got someone who wants to work their fitness, keep the numbers down on the toes to bar, run pretty hard. We've got someone that needs to work on their gymnastics. Okay, we need to run a little bit slow. We need to take the edge, look at 2 to 2.5 minute efforts. So then you're looking at one set of toes to bar, maybe every 3 minutes to 3.5 minutes. Again, 5 to 6 rounds. That's going to give you good toes to bar accumulation. For the everyday member, the person who's doing knee raises, not very good at running, just a medium bit of both. It's kind of like the in-between, where they're getting a good running workout, so they get some volume, and then they also get a medium number of toes to bar. Medium number, 10 reps.
Good stuff. A nice kind of Wednesday piece here where the strength kind of flows nicely into the workout after. So a chance to build heavy on a nice complex of a power snatch, overhead squat, full snatch. And then we've got Amanda after. The complex is quite nice because obviously you can reinforce that foot position. It should be the same for the power snatch, for the overhead squat, and for the full snatch all in the catch there. So again, another great opportunity to reinforce that there. And then coming on to Amanda, it should just feel...
Should feel nice and snappy, right?
Yeah,
it's that first part's treated as a primer, so you'll possibly be working, or you should be working at loads, not significantly heavier, but heavier than what you're going to be doing in the workout. Mm-hmm. So then that loading when you get to the workout does feel a little bit easier in the first round, but then the accumulative fatigue of the muscle ups that you're going to be doing and the aerobic fatigue is going to mean that it's going to feel heavy towards the end.
So say someone's max snatch is 70 kilos for the complex as an example.
Yeah.
What would you be suggesting to that person on the workout for the weight?
Good question. So standard drills in most gyms, you're not allowed to drop the 5s. So it's one of those ones that if you have got a load of less than 40 and you can't get the 10s on, or ladies 35, you're going to need to kind of hold on to that bar. So that adds cumulative fatigue to it. Mm-hmm. So what I would say is those people that are having to lower the bar down, you need to maybe go a little bit lighter. Those guys and girls that have 10s on or more, singles, I'd say for us as everyday members, holding on to this barbell is probably not going to be the most beneficial thing. Yeah. Watching the guys at the Rogue and the girls at the Rogue Invitational a few years back, see, they all went unbroken on everything, but it's their job. Mm-hmm. So hanging on to touch and go snatches, even if it's 50% of your 1 rep max, 9 times out of 10, someone who's got a 120 kilo snatch in a regular gym doesn't have very many ring muscle ups.
Yeah.
So play to your strengths.
Also on this, so I know someone out there is going to be saying, "Ooh, snatch, higher skill, ring muscle up, higher skill. Is this going to be tight on time? How should I kind of warm up for Amanda after doing the snatches initially?" what are you saying there to those
Yeah,
people?
so the flow as a coach should be, you've done your snatch work. So as soon as that EMOM's finished, right guys, we need to be lowering that load to find the most suitable weight for the snatch. That should be just a drop off and practice. It shouldn't be a drop off, do a few reps, drop off again, do a few reps. It should be just go straight to your workout weight and then just do maybe 3 to 5 drop and go singles. And then your focus should be just building up the skill level of the ring muscle up. So in our scale options, we've obviously provided a reduced number of muscle ups, but then we've also looked at doing some maybe jumping muscle ups or chest to bars and push-ups or chest to bars and dips, depending on where you are. And you follow the same rep scheme. So if someone's on chest to bars and dips, it's 9, 9, then 7, 7, then 5, 5, just to recreate that stimulus. What you don't want with a workout like Amanda is to be stood there. 12 minutes is hugely generous when an elite time is kind of 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The reason I've written 12 is to give guys enough time to try and do the higher skill movements. So if you're trying to get your first muscle up or you want to push the load, 12 minutes is there to kind of save you, but it shouldn't be used for every single member in the gym.
Yeah, I think that video, again, it always sticks in my mind of you taking, you know, the whole class through like a ring muscle up warm up, and it's almost similar to like your snatch warm up. It's like just pair 2 people up, 2 sets of 5 chest to ring rows, or you know, floor assisted ring muscle ups without the dip or something like that. I feel like establishing a little ring muscle up routine that is a bit more concise and a bit more, you know, a bit quicker to go through, is a really good one to have in your arsenal.
And consistent amongst coaches. One of the keys is you do want coaches to be individualized and bring new things to the table, but with big fundamentals that you're constantly repeating, if a member's hearing the same thing over and over again, they firstly get comfortable with the information, secondly they get really familiar with it. So with our guys, they'll know that they'll do on a chest to bar 2 sets of 5 small swing, 2 sets of 5 large swing, then open up your hips, then go for it. So when they're getting warmed up, if they've done it 3 or 4 times, they kind of know where they're going next. So as a coach, it's more about seeing and cueing the individuals rather than going, right guys, we're going to do this next, and then they have no idea what's coming. So that's the having the team ethos amongst coaches and members is huge.
Yeah. Again, on that note that you just said about members becoming familiar, like great opportunity for like the handstand push-up work, for example. There's obviously only so long that we repeat that before probably members are like, this is getting a bit boring now, where you've got to mix it up. But to be able to repeat it for at least, you know, 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks is just a great opportunity to dial in then good techniques, and for members to get familiar, get used to it. Again, before you just switch it up, to keep the body on its toes as well.
Definitely. Keep the body guessing. That's a dodgeball reference there.
Duck dodge. This Thursday workout, a good kind of long chipper partner workout. What are you saying?
Yeah, so this is inspired not specifically by Holly, but her kind of Holly at TO. She does different programming and I get to coach it, so I get to see inspiration. She's very good at writing those long, blowy, like kind of get you in the hole, get yourself working chippers, and this is kind of inspired by that. So it's an out and back chipper. You're working in pairs. You're splitting up the work as you go along, and if you guys check into the notes, we've kind of given some rep schemes and time frames that you guys should be kind of following, because this will allow that kind of equal work to rest. It will also allow people to kind of practice some skills. So the wall walks are still here. They're not going away. They've got to be in. Yeah, they've got to be in once a week. Everyone thinks, the new open coming around won't be COVID times. Fingers crossed, and they won't be there, but they're going to be there, and they'll probably be in CrossFit style more volume than what was last time. So just get that practice in. We've got some non-complementary fatigue either side of it. So you'll be surprised at how hard wall walks are after that midline starts to get taxed. Notice body positions. If tummies and thighs are hitting the wall before the hands have made that line, you can tell there's been a loss of midline. So fix people up there. And then on the back side of this, just a good accumulation of volume in the legs and some skill work when you're really tired.
Touching on longer workouts and gyms that tend to do a lot of longer, kind of sloggier workouts. we were having this conversation the other day.
Yeah.
I found from a couple of gyms that I've been to that the members that day in day out only do longer workouts, them 30-40 minute AMRAPs or chippers, when it comes to doing the shorter, sharper workouts, they end up saying, oh, it's not enough, or like, I feel like I've not earned, you know, my tea or my chocolate later on in the day. But it's also knowing how to attack different workouts as well. So they can't push hard enough is what I've found when it comes to them shorter workouts.
Yeah, I think, like, to give you some quotes from myself, is that that's a common thing, is being able to push hard in those shorter workouts, because it's kind of maybe sapped away. There's probably a bit of overtraining, overreaching that's currently going on, so kind of backing it off. Who's done that one where people have probably perennially overtrained, got sick, or went on holiday? When they come back, they go really fast and they're like, oh, I haven't lost much fitness. Like, actually, you've probably tapered and then got better. That's one kind of factor that can be fundamental in a gym. Two more things on that is, secondly, is kind of knowing our method and approach. So within CrossFit's methodology, you want to kind of stay between that 6 to 12 minute bracket. That's where CrossFit intensity really lies. Go even shorter and heavier, maybe once or twice a week, and then go even longer, maybe once or twice a week. So if you kind of now know that as a methodology, as you guys as group coaches scan across the week, you'll kind of see the short ones coming in the majority of the time, or we'll say short, intense ones, and then going heavy every now and again, and then going long, potentially a couple of days a week. So to give like insight, so you guys know where we're coming from, we don't necessarily neglect the long stuff, but we do tend to think of that member's got an hour. How are we best going to get them to go? And we normally best get them to go when they're working between 6 to 12 minutes.
And I think specifically for the member, they've got to remember that, like, it's a GPP program. So in life, you're not always just going to do, you know, really long stuff. You're going to do short, intense stuff every now and again as well. Like, you want to be rounded as a person, like, to be able to do different things in life that, you know, whether it's you going out walking or there's a bit of a scramble on a walk that you've got to do, that sort of stuff as well. So trying to apply that to different situations in life, it's like, you're not always going to do long stuff. You're going to do short, heavier stuff as well.
Definitely. It's a chance for you guys as coaches to kind of get into and educate those guys as well, because what they never practice is what they'll never know. So kind of getting someone in as a group of coaches, go, right guys, let's try and smash the doors off this. Like, one of the most revered workouts that I'm definitely scared, I've done it once and I'll never do it again, is like 50 cal assault bike. It's a minute if you're good, it's 45 seconds if you're amazing, it's a minute and a half of suffering if you're okay. And I'd never want to do it again, because of it wasn't actually a minute workout, it was probably about an hour, because it took me 20 minutes to muster up the courage to do it. I did it, and then I almost couldn't coach a class another 30 minutes later because I was still reeling. So yeah, a little dose of intensity is always good, and it is hard to get a group of members that are not used to it. But it does get there. Just keep chipping away, keep getting into members, get them something. If you see them rolling around in agony and you don't normally see them after a short workout, go, cool, how was that? Get them a big well done, and then get around them, and then their mate will do it, then the next person will do it, and then the open will come, and off will be good.
And them short ones, it keeps everything else in perspective. So it's like, right, that short workout was really hard, and then when you're doing the longer, grindier stuff, it actually feels, when you come back to it, it feels easier as well. So again, doing shorter stuff helps you keep a little bit more perspective on, you know, the bigger picture as well. Friday's workout, Tricky Ricky inspired.
So thanks to Tricky Ricky. We'll give him a tag on Instagram for this. Saw it come up. It kind of a good way to build some tension in the legs and the back for the next day, where we've got some clean and jerks. Also, one of those ones that the numbers should be kind of pushing the threshold. So you're chasing a challenging number, and after around about 6 to 8 minutes, you should be questioning whether this is the right number. If you're getting 12, 14 minutes in thinking I need to go up, this is probably, you've gone a bit too easy. So try and be a bit aggressive with the number. This is the kind of workout that you kind of go out on it and If you have to drop a calorie by a couple of swings, so be it. It's a training EMOM. It's like test your ability. Most people will come away feeling pretty good. The kettlebell can feel quite heavy. It's what is it, 180 swings, a red one or a green one. But then our little accessory work after is going to hopefully make us feel a little bit better and then get us set up for the weekend.
I'm just going to roll straight into the weekend, because like you said, that Friday is it's a bit of a primer. Like even the core work and stuff in the accessory work after should help build some good tension, ready for a big Saturday there. So going off the back of Friday, on Saturday we've got some big cleans, 2 cleans, 2 split jerks, and then you build into a heavy clean and jerk after. So the primer sets beforehand, it's like drill good technique. That's why there's a good kind of broad range on the percentages to work between, because depending on how people feel coming off the back of Friday, some people might prefer to go a little bit lighter to refine the technique. Some people might be okay going that little bit heavier. And then obviously come the heavy clean and jerk after, people should be pretty ripe and ready to go, springing straight out the squat. So
yeah, another one on the percentages, because there's such a big range. Use it wisely with different demographics of your members. So if you've got a newer member, they maybe start at 60, get them to 80 as soon as they can, because their 1 rep max is probably not going to be that high. If you use a more advanced member of your staff or your gym who maybe can lift quite a bit of tin, 2 cleans, 2 jerks at 80% for 4 sets might be a little bit too much to kind of take away from the top end. So you may have them hover down. I certainly look at that thinking, right, if I'm not that conditioned at the minute, if I stick more towards the 60%, it will make me feel good. It'll get the time in, it'll get the speed, and then I can make my build within the 8 minutes. So play it by ear. Don't be so stringent on what's going on. See how the members are moving. If they're not moving like very well, get them to come down. If they're moving really well and they're at 80%, guys, just keep going. They're only guidelines. The reason we put them in is to stop people maxing out for such a long period of time. 8 minutes, you're probably looking at 4 lifts, 1 every 2, keep the same format, and then that should build you in nicely to a little bit of a snappy workout.
Yeah, Salty Towers.
Yeah,
written by Louis Towers from WIT. So for this one, the key is going to be making sure people should be getting some calories at the end of this. Maybe the last round, really struggling potentially, but it's making sure that you will be getting some calories in that first round or 2 for sure. So what are you saying there, Jamie, with regards to?
Yeah, I think the top level guys, so I can pick out a few of our guys and girls at the gym that I run, will probably be able to maintain the same round pace. So a 12 wall balls and 20 double unders, probably 30 to 40 seconds, put it down, turn around, they've got 4 sets of that, leaving them just maybe over a minute and a bit to kind of get themselves there. Realistically, we're going to see rounds 1 and rounds 2 happen pretty quick, and then all of a sudden, a little bit longer to pick up the wall ball, a little bit longer, maybe trip on that double under, giving you 45 seconds realistically on there. Like Jack said, don't be afraid to kind of push this workout, i.e. leave yourself in the last round with a bit too much. Maybe round 3 you've gone a bit too hard, or sorry, round 2 you've gone too hard and you can't get calories at the end. Just see where your wall balls go, because good workout, like 19.1, it was your ability to just turn around and pick up that wall ball and go. Everyone can do 12 unbroken, but who can do 12 unbroken with 1 second rest as opposed to 10 seconds rest?
Yeah, and I feel like, because it's only 3 is quite a nice number. It's like 1, right, you're getting into it, like push pretty hard. 2, probably the hardest interval for some people, like mentally, but if you get over that 2, you're into your last round. So I feel like, again, just keeping that perspective of the whole workout, it's not that much really. So like Jamie said, push hard from the start and just see what you can do. Sunday fun day.
Bit of bodybuilding again, bit of restoring some good movement, and then obviously we've already told you that the following day, that Monday after, it's going to be a 1 rep max front squat from the rack. So we've got some split squats in there, we've got some kind of goblet squats to get ourselves moving, and then some hang snatches to kind of get the posterior chain really switched on. Think of this as a as a group of coaches, I know we're kind of finishing the week, but we want to be talking about the following day. So if you've got those weekend warriors that come in and smash the living daylights out of a Saturday, Sunday, and then their Monday session isn't as good as what it could be, back these people off. Go, right, if you want a big front squat tomorrow, go hard, but leave something in the tank, get plenty of food in you, and then it's go time the following day.
Great stuff. I don't feel like I've got much to add to that, to be honest. So, yeah, hope that was helpful this week. Obviously, we've got Christmas coming up the week after. You've already pretty much done that week.
Oh, that week's done, and then the following week, the one between Christmas and New Year, we're just starting to work on.
Cool. So we got a couple of tests the week after. Then we've got a bit of a deload in between Christmas and New Year. Fits quite nicely before we kick the new year off with some big things. So yeah, cool. We will see you all next week.
See you later, guys.